Welcome to A Double
and
Dice
with your host Kim.
and Jocelyn.
Pour your favorite beverage,
Pull up a comfy chair.
because we are ready to roll.
Welcome to episode 82 of A Double to Dice. I can't even talk today. Welcome to episode 82 of A Double and Dice. And today we have a special guest because we're going to be talking about and he's laughing already. And we're going to be talking about our Dark Phoenix drafts that we had special guests to from out of town. And we did it past Saturday, which you don't know the date because, you never know when we record. And we always say dates and it ends up being...
Yeah, the dates don't make any sense.
No, they don't matter here.
There's no reason to talk about the dates because we're like, oh yeah, it's this date, it's that date, and you guys have no idea because we pre-record this stuff. So
exactly. But yes, so we're going to talk about our draft that we did in person.
IRL.
8 people.
Woo woo.
Right? 8 people.
That's right.
8 people.
Yeah, and we'll talk about our teams that we drafted. And today we have Rob L from Dice Station Zebra that's joining us today.
Yay!
Hi, Kim and Jocelyn. How's it going?
Fantastic.
Rob, aka Rob L.
That's it. That's me.
We're fantastic. How are you, Rob L?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Of
Doing
Dice
great.
Station Zebra.
That's me.
It's one
One half of PlayStation Zebra.
I like to think I'm half of Dice Station Zebra.
You are also half of Dice Station Zebra.
I have and I don't know how much percentage I am of DM North, but I'm half of this podcast. And I'm half Dice Station Zebra, and here we are. So yeah, we had a really awesome time at the draft. We were down at Game Time Collectibles in Mississauga, which is our local store, and we had a bunch of special guests, including Rob, who joined us, as well as we had U.S. national champion Dana joined our draft,
Aka General Nemesis.
Yeah, first time actually that he has gotten out to the store from Toronto, and it was really great to have Dana there. We had our regular friend Marcus. Marcus joined. We have our new player Johnny, and then we had our out of towners. And by out of, like, most of us are out of towners, but
We mean out of country.
out of countryers, yeah. So we had Comics Mike. And we had his son, past guest on the podcast, Sam Samuel.
Yeah.
So it was awesome.
Yeah, we also had his wife and his daughter, but they don't play Dice Masters, so they would have played mini golfing. Yeah. Indoor mini golfing. Yeah.
And we almost had 10 players, but the other 2 players that have been coming out, newer players, Nick and Nathan, they weren't feeling well, so they couldn't make it out to the event. So there was 8 Dice Masters players and 12 Magic players, which is a pretty good percentage.
So we were half, and they were the other half.
Isn't that like 3/4?
I don't know. They were on one side, and we were on the other side. So
That's right.
yeah.
So
And it was a Magic tournament as well.
it was.
Was it a tournament?
It
It was
was.
a pauper tournament. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I don't know what's
So we
going
had some
on in
good
that game.
numbers. We had a good turnout for Dice Masters. It was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
We did. The store was very loud.
Really? I didn't know.
Yeah, well, you live with a 7, almost 8-year-old, so for me,
a 6-year-old, almost 7-year-old, but she'll get it right one day. She never gets it right. You think he's older for some reason.
because he's so tall. He's
Yeah,
really
he is,
tall.
He is tall for his age. Absolutely.
So anyway, so Noah is almost 7. Sorry,
Yes, in a week.
and at the time of this recording,
Yeah. Which we don't did dates around here. Somewhere in March.
somewhere in March, Noah will turn 7, and you live with a 7-year-old, so you're used to like the noise and stuff like that.
And town
And
be quiet lots.
yeah, and I am not used to that because I live alone in the quiet most of the time, except when the neighbors are making noise or the dog downstairs is barking. But yeah, so I found the store a little bit loud, but not in a bad way, like in a excited way. Like we had lots of great conversations and yeah, and it was a lot of fun.
It was a great time, and I was super happy that Comics Mike could make it out,
Mm-hmm.
and that the legendary Sam Samuel could play with us.
You got to play Sam Samuel, Rob.
I did. Absolutely. We had a great game. It was fun.
I didn't get to play him.
Yeah, I played him and Mike.
I played Mike.
Yeah, you played Mike.
Yeah, so I played Mike, and I played Dana, and I played Marcus. Those were my 3 rounds.
And I played Mike and Dana
And Sam
in that
Samuel.
order.
And
with
Sam.
Sam.
I was like,
Sam again.
and yeah, and I had Marcus, Mike, and Sam.
And interestingly, because usually at these things, Rob and I end up matched up.
That's true.
That's only when we travel long distances, right? We
Not
fly to like
local.
a whole different country, and then we're the first matchup.
Yeah, or we drive to like HeroQuix Nationals in Ottawa.
Yep.
And we end up matched up in the final round of the qualifier.
Yep.
You do it on purpose.
This is the way. It always works out that way.
It always works out that way. It worked out that way at Dice Masters Worlds. It was you and I. You weren't my last round though. I think I had somebody after you.
Mhm.
But anyway, I can't remember. Maybe it was. I don't remember. It's not important. But we
It's
ended
all a
up
blur.
matched, and then you moved on, and I did not.
I didn't move on very far.
I mean, you made it to top 8, so.
I maybe got one rung further.
You made it to top 8, and this is actually kind of relevant to this conversation because
It is.
you were playing Master Mold at Canadian Nationals,
At
U.S. Nationals and Worlds
U.S. Nationals and Worlds, yes.
for Dice Masters.
That's right.
And the Master Mold that you were using was my Master Mold card because I was not playing Master Mold. You were playing the Master Mold, and I was playing Super Rare Thor, Yorkman Sphere.
That's right.
So maybe we should talk about the fun
Why don't you do your team first?
cards that we drafted. We don't have to
Since
do first.
Yes,
you're on
right.
that road, you might as well go
That's
first.
So, okay. So we're sitting down to draft. We drafted a single display. We had 8 players. We did it in 2 pods of 4 just because the way the store was set up, it was too hard to pass the cards between tables. So I randomized all of the draft packs and dropped 4 on each table. So at my table, I had Dana, I had Mike, and I had Rob and myself. And they were opening up the packs and we were pulling out the dice. And I think it was you, Rob, that's like, oh, look, super rare Master Mold. There's a super rare Master Mold there.
There was 3 of us that had Master Mold dice in our packs, and I jokingly
Ah.
said, "Oh, look at this! We've all got super rare Master Molds."
That would have been funny, actually.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
have been a lot of super rare Master Molds in that pack. So we all opened our draft packs. And of course, when I'm drafting, the very first thing that I do is I check the very last card in my pack. And sure enough, it was super rare Master Mold, Endless Sentinels.
Wait,
And
you
I
don't
knew
go to your
it.
last card first?
That's what I'm saying. I went to the very last
Yeah.
card
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I go
and
last first. Yeah.
and looked at it.
As soon as I saw the look on your face, I knew.
Yeah.
Said she got the super rare.
Yeah, and everyone looked at me, and I pulled it up, and I just showed everybody because I know it's a draft, and you're supposed to be surprised, but we were there for fun, and I was like, "Yep." So that's that. Now it was difficult though because one of the rares I had in that pack was Colossus Piotr, which is a super good rare card. Of course, he's a 5 cost, I think.
6 cost?
Six cost, Kim? Okay. So 6 cost, and he's the one that when he's active, all of your level 2 and level 3 character dice at the end of the turn will deal your opponent 2 damage per die. So he's also a really good win condition in this set. And it was, sort of like, do I play Master Mold or do I play Colossus? Of course I picked the Master Mold. So now Rob has his very own Master Mold card
That's right.
because I have gifted it to him. So he's got
Thank
his
you
own.
very much, Jocelyn.
You're welcome. But I got to play it for the day. And across from me was Dana. And Dana was looking at his cards. And he's like, oh, do I take the Dark Phoenix or do I pass the Dark Phoenix to the player playing Master Mold? I can't remember what he ended up taking. He took something else. It might have been the Magneto for the Prep Global, but I'm not sure. No, he didn't have a Magneto. Anyway, not important. He took something else. There was 2 cards he was debating on. He's like, either one of these are going to be really good for your Master Mold team. So he made an executive decision and passed me the pack. So I ended up with a uncommon Dark Phoenix to go with my Master Mold. And then the next pack I got would have been your pack, Rob, because of the way we were passing the cards. And in that pack was a rare Wolverine with the Fist Prep Global. So that was basically my team. And I feel kind of bad So, my Sentinel tokens were plant nectar tokens from Wingspan, because that's what I had with me. So we were using those to represent the Sentinels, and the rest of the team was not particularly relevant. Although I do want to talk about a couple of cards. So that was the core of my team. My core of my team was to play Master Mold, and so you field the sidekick, KO a sidekick with the Dark Phoenix Global. The next thing you buy costs 2 less, so all of a sudden your Master Mold is a 4 cost, and then you prep it with your Wolverine, and then you make Sentinels and profit. That's kind of how it works. I don't think anyone on this listening to this podcast will be surprised by that. Is that news to anybody?
No.
No, absolutely not.
All right, so
I'll be shocked if anybody's like, "What? What is that?" No.
Yeah. So I drafted a couple of other things to help and some backups. So the 7 cost Supreme Intelligence Psionic Collective is actually a really good card. I've never played this before. It's a 7 cost mask. It has the keywords of Intimidate and Overcrush, and the stats are 144, 256, 276. So a 7 cost feels like a lot to reach for, but if you have a Wolverine Global and you have a Dark Phoenix Global, that it's really not. I ended up reaching for it in the second game I played against Marcus, because the first game I played against him went pretty quickly, so we had time, so we went into a second game, and I didn't want to do Master Mold again, so I bought the Supreme Intelligence. We didn't end up finishing that game, but I did get some Overcrush damage through, so that was pretty cool. Because I had Wolverine, although I didn't necessarily intend to purchase him, I did put on Mystique Relentless, and she says when Wolverine is active, Mystique gets +2 attack. She's the common, and she had a global pay 2 masks. Target character die can't block this turn if it shares a team affiliation with a character card on your team. And that global actually came in handy to help me push some of those Sentinels through in some cases. And then I had Cyclops. He's a 6 cost bolt. He's the rare Utopia Realized. While you have 3 or more character dice in the field zone, when Cyclops attacks, deal 3 damage to target character die, which is just kind of like an extra removal method in case I need to get rid of something because I can't get my stuff through.
An expensive one.
Yeah. But if you've built a wall or something, right? Dark Phoenix was the uncommon, so when fielded, KO target Pineapple or X-Men. Pineapples are Shi'ars. When Dark Phoenix attacks, deal 2 damage to your opponent, so also like a potential backup win condition. And I had uncommon Lalandra. While Lalandra is active, your opponent must spend 1 to use each action die, which I should have bought against Marcus. Not that it mattered because I won that game, but he was playing the ever popular draft pick Powerbolt from his draft pack, and Powerbolt just does 2 damage to, I think it's target opponent or character die. So he just bought up all of his Powerbolts and was trying to get me that way. So yes, that was good. I ran Rally and I ran Take Cover. Take Cover gives your character dice +2 defense. And then the global is Pay a Shield, target character die gets +1 defense until end of turn. So yeah, so it's mostly just Master Mold, Dark Phoenixing out sidekicks that you've naturally rolled because there wasn't a sidekick fielding global. It felt a little slower, obviously, than a meta version of the game where you have Mr. Sinister global and double prep and all kinds of stuff. But it was a lot of fun to play, and it didn't feel super overwhelming in the draft format. It certainly dominated, but it wasn't like as fast and furious as perhaps like a meta team. So that was my team.
Cool.
Nice. And what was your record again?
3-0.
Yeah. I figured.
Yeah, 3-0.
How could you not, right?
My first opponent was Dana, and he was like, he's like, I guess it's time for a taste of my own medicine, because Dana, of course, is U.S. national champion and world's runner-up, and he played Master Mold in that entire tournament down in Memphis. And it was really lovely to have Dana out. He's such a really friendly, nice guy, and it was super good to see him again because we haven't seen him since Memphis. So, so that was great, and it was good to roll some dice with him. And everyone put up a fight. I didn't like roll over anybody, and there were several times that the master mold didn't roll and had to recycle and things like that. So yeah, but it was a lot of fun. I had all the tools I needed in the Wolverine, the Dark Phoenix Global, and the master mold to just sort of make it happen, and I did. So that was my turn. That was my game. So I won against Dana, I won against Marcus, and then I won against Comics Mike, and that was the end of my tournament. And I won the grand prize of nothing, because there was no prize for this draft except for to have fun. So that's what we did.
Yeah.
So,
it was funny though that Mike. It would have been interesting Master Mold and Colossus though. Because I feel like Colossus would have been a little quicker.
It was close. I think. I can't remember. Oh, he had a force attack on his team, Kim. Mike was playing with what is it? Is it Gladiator that has the force attack in this set? He had Gladiator on his team. So my defense against his Colossus was to force attack his stuff. So either to force attack his Colossus out or to force attack his level 2 and level 3 character dice. Because a lot of the stats in this set are quite low, my Sentinel tokens could often KO his stuff. And he was also using the force attack to force out my Sentinel tokens. So it was a good back and forth. It was very close. It was probably the closest of the 3 games that I played. Mike's a really good player. So he's a really great Dice Masters player, and he's just a really great guy. It was really great to have him out. So cool. Rob, do you want to tell us about your team?
Sure. I feel like the card pool that I had to draft from was not the best I had ever seen. As Chris or Andy might say, it was a bit pants. But the team I went with, at the best of my recollection, because I gave away all the cards at the end to one of the newer players. So what I had was, I did the best I could. So I had Lilandra, the blank, with the global, right? Pay a shield once per turn. If you purchased a character die this turn, you may draw a die from your bag and add it to your prep area. And then I had Magneto Visionary, which basically I only used for his prep global, of pay a mask once per turn during your turn. If you have no dice in your prep area, you may draw a die and place it in your prep area. So I had that, and that was, my attempt at prep. And really, I didn't really have much of a win condition. What I ended up getting was Emma Frost Influential. And so I saw a connection here between 2 cards. So I had that, and that says, when Emma Frost is active, your sidekick dice get +1 attack and +1 defense and gain the Hellfire affiliation. And then I ended up with a basic action card that I don't think I'd ever considered before. And it was Tight Ranks. And it says, if you have at least 3 active character dice that share a team affiliation, KO target character die.
That's a great
So, yeah, you like that one?
Yeah, I played it on an affiliation team that was just like super great and super cheap.
Yeah, it is. It's a 3 cost, right? And so, and I also had Magic Wielder of the Soul Sword, which says when fielded, the next action die you purchase costs 1 less. So I was trying to get some magic and trying to field that and block with her, although she's hard to KO. And then that would give me 1 less cost in the Tight Ranks basic action. So that was sort of my strategy, was to KO my opponent's dice with Tight Ranks and then swing with Emma Frost and sidekicks that have +1A. So it wasn't much of a win con, admittedly, but it was the best I could do, to be honest. And let's see, what else did I have? I had Toad, which is the Awakened Toad. Deal 2 damage to target character die when you spin it up. And my other basic action was Mutation. So that has the global of pay a mask, spin one of your character die down a level to spin another character die up a level. So that was helping with the Awaken when I could get Toad in the field. And also it has Team Watch, which is spin towed up 1 level, which I'm trying to remember if I was able to get that to go. I don't think I did because I didn't end up buying Magneto. So that was the bulk of my team right there.
And you had Madeline prior. Did you buy
I
her?
did.
Because she's also
Yeah, I don't.
Brotherhood.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I ended up buying Madeline. No, that did not happen, unfortunately.
No,
And
Nick,
then I
it's
had
not the one with rushing you out.
It was the one that says when she's active, if your opponent draws an extra die during their clear and draw step, prep 2 dice from your bag. I was waiting for a team that that could have that condition of my opponent drawing an extra die. So that never happened. So I just left Madeline on the card, never bought it. And I had a Jean Grey card, and which I never bought. I just had it there because she's got she can end up having some big numbers right on her high side. So 6/6 on her level 3. So I had it there just in case I wanted to buy it and use it as an attacker. But it wasn't much of a team, to be honest. I did not get very good cards to draft from. But I will say the 3 games were all very good, and none of them were blowouts. And I only lost 2 of the 3, and they were only by a few points. So, and the game that I won was only by a couple points. So, which was a really fun game because I got to play the legendary Sam Samuel, and he had an awesome strategy. It was a very aggressive, and he had Angel, and it's the one that has the energize effect.
The common.
Yes. Now, I'm trying to remember.
I'm pulling it up.
I think it's +2 to a sidekick die.
I believe you are correct.
Energize. Target sidekick gets +2A this turn. So
Correct.
Sam was able to get, I think he drafted 3 angel cards. So he had 6 dice. Because you can, if anyone's listening who does not know about draft rules, you can exceed the max dice in a draft.
You
And
sure
so Sam
can.
He sure can. So Sam had 6 angels, and he was buying them all. And I think they're 2 cost.
Yeah, 2 cost shields.
Yeah, 2 cost shield. And yeah, he was just had a very aggressive strategy, and it was awesome to see. And we were sort of neck and neck. And it was only in the last turn, or in my last turn anyway, because I knew there was only about 3 minutes left in the game. I decided, well, I better swing because I got to get some points. I have to take his life down a bit. So I swung. I KO'd a bunch of his things, and I think he would have had me, but his when he rolled his dice back, he didn't get enough character faces. So
yeah,
unfortunately, that happens. Otherwise, he would have had me. So
yeah,
Sam
we were
played
hitting
a very
time.
good game.
When you guys were getting towards the end there, most of the games didn't quite go to time. I think there was only a couple of them that went to time, but we were running on 35-minute rounds with no turns. Just, again, in the interest of time after time.
So they were all very good games, and like we talked about earlier, I played Mike, Dana, and Sam. So it was a great event. Really enjoyed it.
Awesome. So Sam also drafted a super rare, but he did not play it. So he drafted Angel Xavier's Dream, which is a 3-cost shield. While Angel's active, your opponent can't target your psychic dice with global abilities. I think that he made the right decision in not playing that.
Yeah.
Because I think it could be something good in certain constructed teams, but certainly in the draft there aren't that many globals in this set, particularly ones that target psychics. So I think playing the Energize was the better choice for him.
Yeah, I think when I was playing him, I can't remember which one he played, but he's like, I wonder if I could change it. I'm like, nobody will know, just change it.
Did you play him in the first round?
Yeah. I'm like, we're not putting any team links together here. Please get it.
No, it's all good. So
yeah.
Kim, I think that brings us to you.
Yeah. My pack wasn't very good. Yeah, I think I got 2 rares. One was the Professor X rare, and I had the Mr. Sinister rare.
Did you?
Yes, I had Mrs. Sinister Rare and Professor X, and funny enough, I picked the first card I picked was Professor X because it was shiny. And I was like, I'm gonna have a foil of this, and I really don't need Mr. Sinister, and I passed it, which is funny enough because it made it all the way back to me.
How did that even happen?
Well, I passed to Sam, and then
Yep.
Sam passed to Johnny passed to Marcus, and Marcus to me, but it made it right back around. So
I'm
I
surprised
was like,
by that. If that had been in my hand, I would have picked that for sure.
but then Johnny's new, he may not know.
True.
Sam hasn't played in a while, and then Marcus may have not known either, right?
I think Marcus
So-
is familiar with it, but I think Marcus was rare drafting.
Yes, I think he was. So he probably didn't need it. So
Yeah.
he probably just passed it. So I can't write it back around. So Mr. Sinister was on my team. Yeah, I had trouble. I mean, I had good cards. I pretty much, I guess, went with an overcrushing team. So I had my new fave card. I should say a new fave card. One of my cards I've been using most time because it's cheap and it's overcrushing is Colossus Skilled Painter.
The common.
Yep, the common. 5 costs. He has Overcrush, and he also has an Energize. Field one of your character dice for free and spin it to level 2. At level 3 if you energized it. You know, he's one that never rolls for me. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna build a team around him. And try to just ramp up with Mr. Sinister pretty much. I also had another Overcrush card, which was Beast. The common, what is it, Brawny and Brainy?
Mm-hmm.
So 2 costs. He's got the Overcrush, but the only problem is I didn't have anything on my team that really beefed him. It would beef him up, like big time.
Yeah, his stats are super low, right?
Yeah, because he's a 2-1, 2-2, 3-2. Other than Moira, which I had on my team as well, which was If It's Real, which is an uncommon 3 cost. While Wolverine is active, Moira gets plus 1d. Funny enough, in our draft little table, we had about 4 cards that said while Wolverine is active, and nobody pulled a Wolverine. So
I had a Wolverine.
So, but we know. Did you play anybody? Anyways, we're
Um,
like, wait a second, we have like 4 cards of the, and everybody just kept passing it because nobody wanted it, right? Because we didn't have a Wolverines. Anyway, that was hilarious. And then when fielded, your X-Men character dice get plus 1A until end of turn, which would have probably helped with Colossus and Beast.
mhm.
But now that I think about it, I didn't even read that sentence, so I never really bought Moira. And then when she's KO'd, you prep a die from your used pile. Which
That's
she's
pretty
pretty
cool.
easy to KO. But then again, she's like 0-1, and people will probably just take her, right? Take her 0 if you roll it on level 1.
Yeah.
So, but I never bought it. But now looking at this, I probably should have.
I mean, if
To
there was a Dark
boost?
Phoenix,
Yeah.
if there was a Dark
I
Phoenix
know.
kicking around, you could have
I
KO'd
know.
it yourself.
I didn't
She was
play
an
this
awesome card,
Master
wasn't
Mold
she?
team, you know. But you know what? I bought a lot of Beasts because it did kind of work out a bit, and I'll get to that. Another one I had on my team was also a Master Mold, but it wasn't the Master Mold. It was the common Master Mold, the 5 cost. When fielded, deal 2 damage to all X-Men and Brotherhood character dice, which actually not bad because he's got good stats. And this pack or this display has a lot of X-Men characters on your team. So
Great in
that
draft,
actually-
you might say.
yeah, it came in
Yeah.
handy. It did. I think I did buy it in one of my games and cleared some things out. And I also had the Gladiator, the common Gladiator, 5 costs, which is the Intimidate Gladiator, which I think I also bought to start help clearing things out. So I had a bit of a, I guess, a what do you call it? Oh my gosh, I can't even think of
Like
the word today.
Like a plan?
Not a plan. Intimidate to me is like a
Oh, removal.
not a, yeah, thank you.
Speaking of, we're looking at Gladiator right now, and Gladiator does not have the force attack global. It's the pay a fist when you attack. Your character dice can't be the target of action dice or global abilities. So maybe it was Vulcan that
Yes, Vulcan. I
that
think it's
was
Vulcan.
on Mike's team.
Yeah.
Whatever
Gladiator
one
is
had the force attack global. It was on Mike's team.
Gladiator's a 5 cost, and you know, I think initial thought would be that's pretty expensive for an intimidate character. But look at his stats, right?
Yes, his stats are great.
Yeah, 0-1-0 to field, and then he's like 5-5, 6-6, 7-7 on his sides.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's
and
great
0
for
on
5
his
cost.
on his level 3. So he's like
Yeah,
0-5-5-1-6-6-0-7-7. So he's actually a really good
yeah, I like him.
card. Yeah. Again, the only thing is, if you need to intimidate, let's say your next turn, he's stuck in the field. Unless you had, you know, a Dark Phoenix sticking around.
Well, I mean, yeah, you should have won more of your games. You could have played the Master Mold team.
Were you the only one that had that Dark Phoenix? Nobody else had Dark Phoenix. We didn't get any in our draft packs.
I think it might have been the only Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, interesting. And the last one on my team was Diken, who's also a 4 cost. When Diken attacks, prep a die from your use pile, which was actually pretty good. It's actually not bad. My basic actions kind of was meh. Didn't really help in any of my situations, but it was to take cover. Character dice you control get plus 2d, or they get 3d if you roll it on asterisk, and also had the global where you get an extra d of shield, and organic steel, which is a continuous die, and you can prevent up to 2 damage to target character die and move this die to your use pile if it's an active. X-Men character die also gain a life, which I actually never bought. I never bought any of my basic actions.
Yeah, I didn't buy any of mine either.
Yeah, so it was really, I don't have, only ramp I had was Mr. Sinister really to get to 5 cost, which I was paying full for, right? If I Mr. Sinister and then paid 5 full for Colossus. But I bought a lot of beasts, and a lot of people were fielding sidekicks, which helped. So I just kept attacking with, you know, beasts to clear them out.
Well, I mean, you say you didn't have a lot of ramp, but I mean, as far as ramp goes, Mr. Sinister is probably the best ramp in the set.
Probably. Yep.
And did we say what the global does? I mean, just in case there's someone listening
right.
that is not familiar.
Pay 2, which is 2 generic. Field a sidekick from your use pile, and then prep a sidekick from your use pile.
Yeah, it's a really good. It's really effective.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a once per turn, is it? You could do that.
You can do it on your opponents.
Multiple times.
You can do it.
Yep,
As
you
much
can do multiple
time
times on your turn. Yep.
As much as you can pay for it.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to 2-1. I lost to Mike of his Colossus, and I couldn't.
Colossus on Colossus action.
Yeah, I couldn't keep up with that. Because he was like 6 damage. Like I couldn't do nothing, right? And
he used his force attack.
Yeah, right. I think I wasn't even paying attention. Who else did I play? I played Marcus. I won against, and Sam. I played Sam. Yeah.
Cool. So it sounds like everyone had a good time. So just top 3. So as we mentioned, I went 3-0. So that was the top score. Second place was Mike. Mike came in at 2-1, and third place was you, Kim, at 2-1, and then fourth place was Johnny at 2-1. And then we had 3 1 and 2s, which were Marcus, Dana, and Rob, and then Sam unfortunately went 0-3. But everyone had a really good time.
Yeah, it was fun.
So it was great to have everybody out. We all had a great time. So I think we have sort of touched on this briefly when we were talking about our teams, but there's different ways you can draft when you're deciding how you're building your draft team. So I mentioned that I think Marcus was rare drafting. Yeah. So rare drafting is you pull out your little list of cards that you don't have.
The physical list he had.
Yeah, he had a printout. You have a list of the cards that you don't actually own, and then you draft the cards that are missing and build the best team you can out of it. And you're not going to win the event. You're going to fill in holes in your collection. That's rare drafting, right? So you're drafting for those missing cards. Then there's drafting to win. So you draft like the best team that you can. There's also I don't want to call it hate drafting.
What?
But there's
never heard that before.
There's preventative drafting. I'm going to draft this so that you can't.
Ah, okay.
Right? So, and some of that is strategic, because and certainly Dana was not hate drafting, but Dana knew I had a Master Mold super rare, so he's like, what is the least, what can I take out of this pack that I'm going to pass you to make your master mold slightly less effective. Right? So how would you say you were drafting, Kim? Were you drafting to win? Were you drafting to fill holes? Were you rare drafting? What was your draft strategy?
Yeah, I was collection drafting,
Collection drafting.
but nothing went to the collection. Okay, maybe other than my Professor X of the shiny, but other than that, no, I didn't get anything to the collection.
And what about you, Rob?
Well, the intent was to draft for the collection. However, at this point for Dark Phoenix Saga, I'm really only looking for super rares, and I didn't get any. So then it dropped to, okay, I guess I'm drafting to build a team, an effective team, which that didn't work for me either. So
I mean, I think you built a cool
was
cool
fun.
strategy.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh no, it was fun for sure. Like I said, it was the best with what I had, and it was something I'd never tried before. So it was definitely fun to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't get any, anything to fill my collection, which is why I basically just donated everything I had to the new person, Johnny, because he doesn't have much of a collection yet. So I know he can use them.
Yeah, and I also was just drafting. I was just drafting for playing. So I drafted the Super Rare Master Mold A because it's like probably the best card in the set, and then B because you didn't have one, Rob.
That's right.
And if I had passed that to Mike, it would not have made it to you.
That's right.
So
Yeah,
there was no way Mike would have passed that over. So if I'd drafted the Colossus, he would have drafted the Master Mold. But yeah, so I drafted sort of that. The only, like you, Rob, at this point, fortunately, because of all the travel that we got to do last year and all the Dice Masters we got to play between Gen Con and Memphis, I am also only looking for super rares in Dark Phoenix Saga. The rest of my collection is full. So I similarly also gave Johnny almost all of my extras. I kept a couple of rares and a shiny uncommon Master Mold that I did not own. So I kept that for my collection, and the rest of it went to Johnny. So he's got some new stuff to build with when he comes out on our weeknight events.
Johnny was just flooded with product. He just had cards and dice all over his mat, and he was laughing. It was awesome. He was just like, "Why are you guys giving me all this?"
I
because
love
we definitely do not need it.
Yeah,
I
we
have
definitely
so
don't
many
need it.
extras at home.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm gonna
lots of
start
dice.
putting those together into nice little packs for the when Secret Wars comes out. We have new players, hopefully. So
Yeah.
fingers crossed.
You know what? We didn't even get a Gambit on our side either.
I think
I
I
don't
saw a
think we got
Gambit.
it. Oh, maybe
Oh, that was.
maybe Johnny got it.
I think I had Gambit.
Okay.
I remember that now. That was the one card I couldn't remember.
Yeah, because we were just
I'll
kind
see
of
if I can
looking
remember
for-
which one it was.
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure it was the common, Rob, because I think it was in my pack.
You know what? It was the uncommon, right? It was the one that said, when fielded, if you have fielded no other character dice this turn, re-roll all opposing character dice.
Oh, it was that
That's
one.
right. This is the one I had. This was the missing piece. Yep.
Was that a 5 cost?
That's a
Was it
5
5
cost.
cost? Yeah.
And I actually ended up buying it because I think I used that one. It was against Mike, I think. I was able to clear a lot of characters out of his field.
That would be good against that Colossus Piotr team.
That's funny because I forgot all about this card just until now. Because I only had 7 cards that I could remember. This was the one I couldn't remember.
And
There
some
you
of
go.
that I
go.
think was helpful to my the picture I took.
Yeah.
I took
Yeah,
like
you had a
one
picture
picture
Yeah,
of like
Oh.
half of our mats.
that's right. So I got most of it from the picture, but that was the one on the far side. Yep.
Yeah, I had to do the same thing. I had to recreate my team from the photo, and I was missing one card, and I was like, I can't remember what card it was, but I ended up realizing it was the Lilandra. Because I remember thinking partway through my game against Marcus that I should have bought the Lilandra because it would have cost him life to use his Power Bolt.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, Power Bolt. I should have gone like first and bought it. but I didn't.
I
bought
had
one.
Power Bolt in my pack as well. The other thing to mention is that we chose not to draft our basic actions. So with the draft packs, you get 3 basic action cards. So sometimes you draft your basic actions by passing them one way, and then you pass the character cards the other. We said keep your basic actions, draft your team, and then pick your 2 BACs that you want to put with your team for that. So So yeah, I had Powerbolt in addition to my other 2 basic actions, and I was like, yeah, I'm not putting that on my team. That's just an invitation to lose to Powerbolts.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
Nick and Nathan, who we referred to earlier, we did a draft with them a while back, and Nathan put Powerbolt on his team. He's a younger player. He's new, but he's sharp. He's learning, and Marcus disavowed him of the the don't put Powerbolt on your team. So like so now he puts Powerbolt on all of his teams, and he buys them all first. He tries to buy them all out from under you and then Powerbolt you to death. It's hilarious.
Yeah. No.
So
If you're gonna put Powerbolt on your team, you better have a card on your team that hinders your opponent from using action dice.
like the Lilandra.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really exciting for me to draft this set because last year we did a lot of drafting, but it was almost all Superman Kryptonite Crisis.
Yeah, when this set came out, we were still in lockdown mostly.
Yeah, you
From
and
the
I did some
pandemic?
sealed games, Rob.
Yep.
Where we each opened a draft pack and built the best team we could out of it. And I think we did one draft at the store that was a Dark Phoenix potentially.
So.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
But when we went to Gen Con and we went to Memphis, the set that was available to draft was Superman. So we drafted a boatload of Superman and very limited Dark Phoenix. And this was a fun set to draft.
Yeah.
Like Master Mold notwithstanding. Take that out of the equation. I think everybody had a good time. Everyone built some kind of team with some sort of plan. It was all there. Everyone had an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So, and everyone seemed to be having a really great time.
Yeah, we'll have to do it again. So Mike, Sam, come back.
Come back. Come back. Yeah, we have 2 more draft packs of Dark Phoenix Saga at the store. So we'll set up another opportunity to do a draft soon, hopefully. And hopefully we can get everybody else back out and run the draft. So
Sounds great.
any other draft thoughts?
No. Rob?
None that I can think of.
Any other like event or things that you'd recommend people do when they're playing in a draft, or if they have the opportunity to draft in person? I'm putting everyone on the spot here.
Yeah. I would recommend everybody have fun.
That's a good one. I like
And
that
also and also draft a super rare Master Mold if you can.
If you can. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. No, it was good. It was awesome. So I was super glad that we had 8. It was really exciting. Our store owner, Will, was super excited to see the 8 of us. I think we've only had that many people for an event once before, which was, I think, our charity event that we ran back in October when we drafted Tomb of Annihilation. So that was a throwback, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was good. That was the day we outnumbered the HeroClix players.
That's right. There were 3 HeroClix players and I think 8 Dice Masters players. So
And we tried to get them to come draft.
we did, but they insisted on playing HeroClix.
And there's usually like 8 or 10 HeroClix players, usually, but not that day. So
It was just a constructed event, though. There was no release or anything.
that's right. Yeah, if it was release day, it would have been a
Completely
story,
different story. There would have been 6 to 8 for sure.
right?
So we would have been tied. But yeah, so Dark Phoenix was fun. It was a fun set to draft. It was nice sort of pulling that out. Kim and I recently did, as you guys heard on the podcast previously, Dark Phoenix only teams that we had built. But building in the draft format is just a little bit more limited. You have less choices. You have to be more strategic. It's a little bit more, it's a little different. So, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, if we completely missed a way of drafting, I'm sure our fans will let us know.
Our listeners,
Our fans.
our socialites. Isn't that what we decided to call them?
I think so. I can't remember.
Our socialites.
We don't call them that, though.
We can call them that now. So
The
Yeah.
Dicers, the double and Dicers.
the double and dicers for sure.
There you go.
So so Kim, should we jump into the dice bag?
Yeah, let's jump into the dice bag.
Okay. So dice bag was a little light last week, and I think that just as a sort of overall note, If you listen to the Ministry of Dice podcast, you would have heard Chris and Andy talk on last week's episode about, the sort of the challenge they're having with Dice Masters. They said that, their numbers are down and they're sort of struggling with content and all that sort of stuff. And I get it. I see where they're coming from. There's it's been kind of challenging, and I do not remember why I started to talk about this. Because we didn't get a lot of feedback. That's why our feedback from our last episode was a little bit light. So we are still looking for a potential grand prize winner for our anniversary contest of the Happy Anniversary.
Or else Jordo's gonna get it.
Yeah.
who didn't put it in properly and is disqualified anyways, but he might win it.
So if you're interested and you would like to enter our anniversary contest to win a prize, we're looking for the first person to correctly name the people in order that said happy anniversary to us at the beginning and the end of episode 80 by email to dmNorth.com. And on that note of episode 80, everyone's fave hero Donnie reached out to us on
the Facebook. No.
Kim. Even Rob knew. Everyone's fave hero Donnie reached out to us on
Facebook. I don't know. Today I'm a little I don't know.
I thought you were just pulling a prank.
No, I actually just came out Facebook, which I wasn't even looking at the screen. Even nothing said Facebook, so I don't know where that came from.
On the YouTube. And he's an episode behind. He commented on episode 80, which is our anniversary episode, and he says, "I planned my Mondays around you guys, and I was lost last week because we skipped a week. We went 2 weeks without a podcast, then we went 2 weeks back to back." So yeah. He says, "LOL, just playing. Congrats on the big 80, and thank you for always giving great content. I did like the theme to this episode, which was the top 3 out of the 3 sets. So our favorite basic action and our top 2 cards." And he said, "I would be interested in maybe seeing this format with golden or silver sets." So something to think about, Kim. We can certainly take a look at that.
That's a big one.
Well, I think we'd have to narrow it down.
Yeah.
We wouldn't want to just go we couldn't do top 3 from every set. We'd have to do I don't know.
We could go by year.
Yeah, or
you see what we released in this year, and then we kind of pick that way. Well, we'll think about it.
So definitely we can think about that. And on that note, I finally got the form out for the poll, which was supposed to be out after the 80th episode, and now here we are at episode 82. So the form went out for the voting of which basic action and which cards from each set do you think are the best based on what Kim and I had chatted about in episode 80. So that form has been shared to all of the dm-north.com socials, and we'll make sure to drop it in the show notes here, right, Kim?
Yes.
And it's on the Twitter and the Facebook and the Reddit, but it's not on the Instagram. So you can find it on all those places. We've shared it out to a bunch of the Discords, and you can drop that form in there. Answer the 3 questions. What's your favorite basic action? 4 questions. Favorite card from Infinity Gauntlet, favorite card from Dark Phoenix, and favorite card from Superman Kryptonite Crisis. And then there's an optional field for you to drop in your email, because we will be doing a draw of the people that participate if you're interested, and you'll win a super awesome prize, which will be a surprise prize. So yeah, and that is basically all the feedback we had.
Well, you have a whole bunch here. You don't want to say.
Well, we're gonna save that.
Okay.
We're going to save that for a future episode. So it's not really about the episode. It's completely unrelated to the episode. So
you're baiting us all to come back for the next episode.
Well, we got to do something.
Talk about something mysterious.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's right. So we've got a surprise for the next episode.
Cool.
So
surprise to me, because I don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, Kim hasn't read it yet. So that is the end of the dice bag. Should we move on to coming events, Kim?
Yeah. Well, we play Weekly Dice Arena every Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. So come on dmNorthTV's Twitch, and there is also a channel that you can see the format for upcoming weeks, as well as we do post the themes on the website as well when Kim puts out the YouTube videos. And right now, 2 team takedowns going on. So there's videos being posted on YouTube for that. And I think that's it. A special teaser went out. If you haven't seen it,
Teaser.
check out our YouTube video and look for that teaser of something that may be coming out next month.
Some exciting Dice Masters something.
Something.
I missed the teaser. Now I'm gonna have to go look.
Go check it out. It's a really cool teaser. So yeah, and I think that's all. Oh wait, Dice Social will be happening in March, but by the time this comes out, Dice Social would be over. So
We really have to get better at that, Kim.
we don't plan it very well. But you know, we do have a channel in the Dice Masters Discord. So if you haven't joined a Discord, or just take a look, it'll say something that says Dice Social. Go in there. You can also look at the formats and when it's coming up. We do play once a month. So we're monthly. But check out that channel there, and you can see what's coming up for the month.
Cool
That's
beans.
So
And,
Kim, on the topic, sorry, Jocelyn. So on the topic of 2-team takedown that you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
have you played your first game yet?
I have, and it was against
Okay.
fellow Canadian teammate Jordo.
Okay.
I
Awesome.
realized I've built terrible teams. No, let me rephrase that. I realized I've built teams that each have a win con, but when put together, I can't prep or do anything to do anything because I didn't put prep or
no.
anything. But yeah, I mean, I'm just here to have fun and play. But yes, I did play my first game against Jordo. That is also up on the YouTube that you can take a look. But yeah, it is it was a fun one to build for, so it's interesting.
you also played a game against CCM Quadruple 7.
Yeah. Sure.
So at the local game store a couple weeks ago, I said to Kim, "What did you build for the week so I could build something?" And she said, "I didn't build anything. I'm going to bring my 2-team takedown teams." I said, "Okay, great." So I went on to dm-north.com where all the 2-team takedown teams are posted, and I randomly selected a team, and I selected CCM Quadruple 7 team, aka fellow DM North or Laurier, and I played his teams against Kim. So
That's why I realized my teams were terrible.
your teams weren't terrible. You won
I'm just
one.
relying on my opponent to bring me everything I need. It didn't work
That's the way to
very
do it.
well.
The format for this 2-team takedown is actually really interesting. So you built 4 mini teams, right? 4
Yes.
half teams.
Of one energy.
Each team has to be a single energy type.
Yep.
So you built a bolt team, a fist team, a mask team, and a shield team, right?
Yeah.
And then you roll 2 sidekicks until you get 2 different energies, and those are the first 2 teams that you play. And then once you've won with those teams, then you switch and play with the others. So it is possible that you could play multiple rounds of this event and not play the same 8 cards together.
Correct. Yeah.
Because of the way it's set up. So it's really interesting in how you sort of build that synergy and you know, how do you prep, and you know, what happens if you roll this combination together and things like that. So it's a really cool format. I really enjoyed it. I wish that, you know, I had more time and was awake at nighttime and could play with people. But I enjoyed playing against you, Kim, and it was a cool team. And Laurier, you know, thumbs up on your teams. They went 2-1. So yeah, so that's 2-team takedown. So Rob,
Yes.
of Dice Station Zebra fame, where
Fame, I don't know about that.
that. Where can we find you? Where can we find you in the Dice Herd?
You can find me and Jocelyn and the Dice Herd on YouTube at Dice Station Zebra. Also on Twitch, Dice Station Zebra. And I have corresponding, Twitter address, ds_zebra, and we're also on Facebook and Instagram. You can do
That's right.
searches and find us in all those
And
places.
TikTok. And
No, there's no TikTok.
No TikTok yet.
No TikTok.
you're not TikToking yet?
No.
Not just yet.
So if
Maybe
you have
someday.
not liked, subscribed, followed, all of those types of things, that would be great if you could do that. And also, Rob, there's the Discord.
Oh yes, we do have a Discord. You can come join us. We do a lot of hero clicks, and we will be doing some more Dice Masters as soon as the next set is released, right?
Yep, absolutely. And we
Yeah.
also talk a little bit about other stuff like Dungeon Crawl Classics and general
Our
pop culture type
role-playing
things.
game of choice. Yeah.
So
we have lots of fun over there.
Kim will make sure she drops an invite into the show notes for that for the Discord.
Cool, that'd be awesome.
Okay. So on that note, we would love to hear from you. As we mentioned, the dice bag was a smidgen light this week, and we love hearing your feedback because we think it's great to hear from all of you and share your thoughts and ideas and commentary with each other and build that community aspect. So you can send us an email to dpodcast@dm-north.com. You can leave a comment on one of our episode posts on our website, dm-north.com. You can find us on all the socials, which is Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at dmNorthTV. And you can find us on Discord. We have our dmNorthTV Discord channel, which Kim will also drop in the show notes for us. And you can also at us on Discord. Kim is at SuperK, and I am at JoStitch, JOCE Stitch. And until next time, on a double and dice.